First and foremost, for this video, we're not gonna need this. I know the title talks about numbers and all that and rental calculations. You will not need a calculator, so let's get right off the bat. This is Leo with Engel and Volkers, and what I wanted to do today was go over numbers for two different scenarios I get asked all the time, right? I talk to many potential investors that wanna invest in real estate in Boston, and their first question is always, I don't know what kind of asset to buy. Do I buy a condo? Do I buy a multifamily? And what are the numbers that go with it? So I'm gonna give two examples of two different types of buildings, two different types of real estate you can buy today. And again, you're not gonna need a calculator. These numbers are pretty straightforward. And the numbers will tell a really clear story. So for this video, I'm gonna use one example of investing in a condo in Cambridge, right? So it's a nice market. Nice market is an understatement. It's one of the best markets in the US. I mean, you've got Harvard, MIT, Kendall Square, biotech, all that good stuff. And this particular unit I'm looking at, it's a 2-bedroom unit, 900 square feet in East Cambridge, pretty good condition, but nothing special. And then for the same budget of $650, I'm gonna look at a 2-family in a market like Everett, right? Which is a up and coming market. I mean, it's obviously got the casino, but it's definitely, it's a completely different market. It's been on the rise. There's a lot of people really high on it. So those are the two types of assets we're going to look at. So let's start with a Cambridge condo. So with a Cambridge condo, first and foremost, you got to know what it's going to rent. And a 2-bedroom, in Kendall Square that's in pretty good condition, let's say that thing's going to rent for about $2,800. All right, so that's your gross income a month. Now with both of these types of investments, you're going to want to budget a vacancy budget. Right? And we'll go over how I determine all these operating expenses in a different video. But basically, you're going to have a vacancy budget, which basically says, hey, my unit's not going to be rented 100% of the time for as long as I own it, because you're going to have tenants move in and out. So I got to take a little budget. So usually do 3% of gross income. Then you're gonna have, in your condo, you're gonna wanna do a little operating expense budget, because you're gonna have a toilet breakdown, you're gonna have a sink breakdown, a tenant's gonna do something stupid and it's gonna cost you a couple $100. For an 800 square foot condo, I think $100 a month does it. And then the other big thing is obviously the condo fee, right? I mean, the condo fee takes care of all the big stuff in the building. It's a monthly payment you can't get around it. And for this Cambridge building, it says it's about $200, so 200. So that means, and I'm just looking at the numbers here on the spreadsheet. Again, very straightforward. But your total operating expenses for this condo are about $350, right? $350 per month. Now with a total monthly income of about, say, $2,800, right? I called it $2,850 because you could probably do a little bit better than $2,800 in Kendall Square. Your total gross operating income, it's called the net operating income. That means it's the number before you calculate your debt, right, or your mortgage, is going to be about $2,500. All right. Now with I'm going to assume you're going to put about 30% down, so that means your monthly payment is about $2,400. You've got another $800 in taxes and insurance. So all in all, your total, it's called the PITI, right? Your principal, insurance, taxes and interest, principal, interest, taxes and insurance, whatever they call it, right? That's going to be $3,200 per month. So if you do the numbers, your net cash flow per month is going to be about -$700 every single month. All right, so that's the Cambridge condo. So now we're going to switch over and look at the 2-family in Everett. So I pulled up a 2-family that's listed on the market right now for $650. Again, same exact price as that Cambridge condo. Now this particular building has a 4-bedroom and a 2-bedroom. Now your gross income for, say, that 2-bedroom is going to be $1,700 a month, and your gross income for the 4-bedroom will be about, say, $23. So your total gross income is $4,000 a month in this Everett 2-family. So obviously better than that Cambridge condo. In terms of operating expenses, there's some similarities. I mean, we're going to have the vacancy of 3% again, right? Repairs, you're probably going to go a little bit higher since you're dealing with more units. Here I put about $160, which is what I typically use for a 2-family, $160 per month. The other thing you got to budget in here is common utilities, right? Because Even if gas and electric are separate, you're still gonna have to pay water and sewer, and there still might be common electric meter, right, for the hallways. So I usually budget about $100 a month. And then I also do one other called other budget, right? This could be like landscaping, snow removal. In the winter, if it snows, are you gonna go shoveling? Probably not. Are you gonna go landscaping? Probably not. So you just want another other budget, because here you're owning a full building rather than a condo. So I usually do 2% of gross income. So your total operating expense on this building is actually about $400, more or less, right? So a little bit more because you're owning a full building. Now, again, your net operating income, so you've got 4,000 gross income, you got $400 a month of operating, you're at $3,600 per month as a net operating income. And again, your PITI will be pretty similar. I mean, there might be give or take here, but more or less, I call it about $3,200 a month. Now, the one other thing here with this two family is you want to do what's called as a CapEx budget, right? That's a capital expenditure budget. Why? Because you own the entire building, and you've got to account for the fact that eventually you're going to have to replace the roof. Eventually you're going to have to replace siding. You might have to do some foundation work. You're owning an entire structure rather than just a unit within a structure. When you own that condo fee would take care of that, right? I mean, that went into the association's reserves, et cetera, et cetera. But when you own the two family, it's on you. So you gotta usually budget, I like to say budget about $150 for these kinds of buildings, older types of 1900 builds. So that's another $150 a month that in theory you should set aside to protect yourself for when you have to do these major repairs. So all in all, you've got that $150 in CapEx. All in all, your net cash flow a month is about $300 positive. So you can see the difference, right? I mean, you're basically in Cambridge in a very well-established market. You're cash flowing. You're probably going to be losing some money, right? I mean, it's hard to be cash flowing positive in a market where prices are so high. But obviously, the demand the demand structure is completely different. You've got different economics. I mean, again, Harvard, MIT, biotech. I mean, it's the epicenter, right? Versus this Everett two-family, which is an up-and-coming market. Still, I mean, it's literally right next to Cambridge. I mean, you just hop over, right? But in this, you can buy a two-family for that same price and cash flow about $300 a month. So those are that should give you an idea of what the main differences are of investing, say, in a condo in a well-established area versus, say, a two-family in a more up-and-coming area. In a different video, we'll talk about, there's obviously nuances to all of these, especially like operating costs, capital expenditure costs. We'll talk about that in a different video, but hopefully that gives you a good understanding, at least basis of how to evaluate properties in different submarkets of Boston. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments, but hopefully that helped.